What's up, guys? My name is Ricky. I am a former metal drummer. Today, we are reacting to Avenged Sevenfold. We love you. Before we get into the music, please like the video if you do happen to like it. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any content moving forward. A very brief background of my my experience with Avenged Sevenfold. It is one of my favorite bands of all time. It is one of the couple of bands that got me into metal when I was probably in late elementary school, early middle school. So I am very familiar with a lot of their discography. I have listened to Nobody already. I have done a reaction to it. I don't know if I'm going to release it though, but I'll leave that as it is. If it's anything like Nobody, then at least my brain is kind of in the right mindset. I know from what I've seen interview wise, or like little snippets of interviews I've heard and read, a lot of their songs on this new album are a little more experimental. So I don't expect the old A7X sound, nor should we, because they've done that sound, they've been there, done that, so they have to evolve, they have to grow. So I'm really curious to see where they go from here. So this is Avenged Sevenfold. We love you. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh, that bass line. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there in the first 30 seconds. Really high intense punk beat, which I don't think I have heard them do. Okay, I guess they do kind of the double time beats in other songs, but not to this extreme. I'm not even gonna touch the vocals because there's a lot going on. I'm gonna start from the beginning because there's so much going on here in such a little bit amount of time. I can't speak. The one thing that I noticed was the kind of the open chords the guitars were doing there in the bass, except for that one bass line I had mentioned. It's very. This is a trip. I'm gonna go back to the to the beginning. That bass run was good. Okay.
More power, more pace, more money, more taste, more sex, more pills, more skin, more shills. Build tall, build higher, build far, build wider, build here, build down. Build up, build now. Look at the
Okay, there was some of that old school sound coming in there. Okay, definitely more experimental here in this first minute 5 seconds. There's a lot of they're layering it differently. So typically, or at least in old school A7X, a lot of the bulk of their sound comes from the action behind with the drums and with the guitars. In this song and in Nobody, they have a lot more layers to it. There's a lot of synth work. They're letting, I can't remember the bassist's name right now, but they're letting him fly on this song, and he had a little bit of a feature in Nobody as well. So it's kind of nice to hear some individuality coming out of him. because he's typically going along with rhythm guitars. Um, there is this is a lot to unpack. I'm gonna go back again.
More power, more pace, more money, more taste, more sex, more pills, more skin, more chills.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna be pausing this a lot because I know this is not a typical song that Avenged does. Because of the cadence in which Matt Shadows is using his lyrics, it really lures you into what he's saying, and kind of the monotone ways going about it really brings a very haunting message to the forefront here. And I'm someone who is very terrible with understanding lyrics and comprehending the full message. I'm a musician through and through, so I typically listen to singers as an instrument, not so much as a lyricist. But because the drums are just doing one on the floor, a typical like dance beat, with the hi-hat on the upbeats, and then a moderately typical Sinister Gates riff in the background. It's a very A7X feel guitar wise in the riff, but the monotone, rhythmic, almost robotic cadence that M Shadows is using here is very intriguing.
Build tall, build higher, build far, build wider, build here, build down.
Ethereal background.
Build now. Look at the way you go. You're one in a million, and you know it shows. We love you. Until the moon. More wants,
Okay,
more needs, more hits, more.
there's that monotone again.
More speed, more drive, more self, more time. Build out, build fast, build strong, build fast, build two, build more, build all, build war.
Mm.
Look at the way you go. You want it.
Oh. Okay, so I know they had a like kind of an a cappella choir thing that they had in Nobody. This seems more not as distracting, I guess would be the word I would use, or I don't know the word I want to use here, but this feels more in flow with kind of the direction of where the song is going, just from what I think where the song is going. But I love the very it's a very light synth pattern around it. I know they're just open chords, but it's not a harsh attack. It's just kind of floating around, making it kind of like you're just in space. You're just picking out the stars, you know. And so, and M Shadow's voice control here is very, very nice. Back up just a little bit. Oh.
Raise the scale, the body stack. They foot the face, the top broken back. A failure here is a failure. So do one to the top. Do one to the end. Do one to the moon.
Ooh. That drum fill was like a half a second long, and it only it really was only two parts. It was like 16th note, or I guess it was kind of 32nd notes on the snare, and then the same thing in the feet. Oh, but it was so crisp and so it had so much power behind it without it sounding muddled. That last bit was straight out of Waking the Fallen. So kind of going back to the roots here, you're kind of getting a little bit of everything. This is a 6-minute song, so this video is going to take forever. I'm going to go back I have to readjust my brain here. Get it, Sinister. Good. Ooh, good change up. Accelerando.
More skin, more shills, more wants, more needs, more hits, more pain, more speed, more drive, more self, more time. Build tall, build higher, build bar, build lighter, build gear, build down, build up, build now, build out, build fast, build strong, build fast, build, 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 build. Look at the way.
Good. Okay, sorry. I'm trying not to pause a whole lot because I know we still have 2 minutes left to go here. But I have to mention Brooks, the drummer Brooks. There's little subtle intricacies in fills that he's doing that is so... It is so tasteful. I don't know how else to say it. Like, and that last part where they were kind of building and accelerating. When they did that monotone 4 on the floor beat at the beginning of the song, he was just doing quarter notes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, basically like a dance, like an EDM song that you would hear in the club. But then he would throw in, like, at every other phrase, he would throw in just like a boom, 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 and he didn't do that in the beginning, and it's not even that big of a difference, but it's so noticeable because it's the only real instrumentation that's happening that's not the vocals. And I found that it was such musicality in that, and all he did was add one note, but it was so tasteful. Okay, moving on. Oh, interesting chord.
And we love you.
Good major chord.
And we love you. And we love you.
Oh, it threw me off. Okay, sorry. I have to bring this up because I'm gonna forget it later. I love the kind of the raw sound you're hearing. So right now it's in your left ear with Sinister's kind of solo section. it's so intimate. The sound is so intimate and so close. You can kind of hear him, like, I don't know. I'm not a guitarist, but like him, like trying to. He's doing something with I don't know the technical terms, but with him like putting a vibrato on the strings, and it makes it sound. I don't know how to explain it. It's so raw and so wrong, but I feel like it's so intentionally there that you can't help but notice it, and it really adds to the texture of the sound. Not to mention the solo itself is very laid back, but also the note choices that he's using is very. I'm liking a lot of this. Ooh, good slide. Okay, so I now that I kind of glad that they didn't start. How do I explain what I'm trying to say? If they had released this before they had released Nobody, Nobody would have been an. I guess people are kind of already in an outcry, but because they showed you like, look, we're going experimental here, and this is the direction that we want to go. This is the direction we want to take you. That we want to put you on this journey of, and so it's they kept the experimental part of it, but also I feel like this flowed between sections much smoother than in Nobody. And maybe because with Nobody it was so jarring to hear because you're like, wait, that's A7X doing that, and yeah, like bands have to evolve. They have to you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Otherwise, you might as well just listen to the same albums that sound like that. So I really enjoyed this one because of the many different directions it went. Nobody kind of hovered between 2 to 3 kind of genre switches. But you can kind of also hear the influence that they had in previous albums. Like there was definitely some Waking the Fallen background that you heard in that kind of that middle section. A lot of the stage influence. The stage kind of introduced like the fans like, hey, here's our sound, but we're also going to just put a touch of experimentation in there. This one kind of flipped the script. They're putting the experimentation right, like, look, we're gonna experiment, like, and but also we still have like our old school sound. If we want to use it, like use it sparingly, use it just to have like a palate cleanser almost. I really liked it. I know a lot of people are not going to like this new direction, especially for old school A7X fans. I really enjoyed this. Maybe more so than maybe I should have, but I think now that I'm like, after listening to Nobody and knowing that the album is probably going to be more out there, it's not your typical sound. I think now that I'm in the right mindset, I've just found myself just taking it all in, just absorbing all of it. So I really enjoyed this. So this just makes me more excited for the album coming out from the day of filming. It is coming out next week. So there we go. I'm going to be hearing a lot more of this in a week. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Again, if you did like it, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything moving forward. And until then, guys, take care. I'll see you next time.